Have you ever felt like your life is crumbling around you, like the very foundations you've built are giving way? The feeling of utter despair, the gnawing fear that you're not strong enough to pick up the pieces. We've all been there, at the precipice of our own personal apocalypse. You're not alone in facing what feels like insurmountable odds. Recent news headlines scream of a world in chaos, of shifting global power dynamics, and of individuals battling demons, both internal and external. Just last month, we saw reports of unprecedented economic instability, political upheaval, and personal tragedies that hit close to home. These events serve as a stark reminder that even the most seemingly secure existence can be shattered in an instant. But within this very fragility lies the potential for extraordinary transformation. What if I told you that the breaking point, the moment of absolute devastation, is actually the starting line for something greater, for a powerful rebirth? Today, we're not here to dwell on the wreckage. We're here to talk about how to meticulously, piece by painstaking piece, rebuild yourself into something stronger, something resilient. Are you ready to begin? This video will be divided into 5 powerful chapters that will guide you on this journey. Chapter 1 will confront the initial fear and paralysis. Chapter 2 will teach you to assess the damage and identify the usable remnants of your past self. Chapter 3 will focus on constructing a new foundation built on solid principles and unwavering self-belief. Chapter 4 will explore the art of adapting and making incremental progress regardless of setbacks. And finally, Chapter 5 will celebrate your hard-won resilience and provide strategies for long-term growth. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Confronting the chaos. The immediate aftermath of a life-altering event is often marked by a sense of overwhelming fear and paralysis. It's the feeling of being completely lost in the ruins, unsure of which way to turn. The initial shock can be so intense that it's difficult to even begin to process what's happened. You might feel like you're standing on the edge of an abyss, peering into the unknown, the future seeming bleak and without hope. This fear can manifest as physical symptoms, a racing heart, shallow breaths, sleepless nights. You might find yourself retreating into isolation, convinced that no one could possibly understand the depth of your pain. This is completely normal. It's a natural human response to trauma and loss. We've seen this pattern of reaction countless times throughout history, even on a grand scale. Take, for example, the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. The global economic meltdown left many individuals feeling disoriented and without direction, mirroring the personal crises we face in our own lives. Many felt paralyzed by the scale of the destruction, unsure of how to move forward. The sheer volume of negative news can feel suffocating. Remember the coverage of the recent geopolitical tensions that continue to dominate global news cycles. The sense of uncertainty and impending doom can easily seep into your personal life, magnifying your feelings of vulnerability. It's important to understand that this initial response is not a sign of weakness, but rather a necessary stage of processing. You cannot rebuild until you acknowledge the scope of the devastation and allow yourself to feel the full weight of the experience. Don't push it away. Feel the pain. You have to acknowledge it to move on. The fear, as crippling as it feels, is a sign that you are alive, that you have the capability to react. It's a signal that it's time to wake up and begin the process of reevaluation. Now that you've faced the fear, let's look for the pieces that are worth salvaging. Chapter 2, Salvaging the Pieces. Once you've allowed yourself to feel the immediate pain, it's time to approach the situation with a more methodical mindset. This is the stage where you begin to assess the damage, to carefully sift through the wreckage and identify what is still usable, what can be salvaged to contribute to your reconstruction. It's like an archaeologist excavating a site, meticulously brushing away the debris to find the valuable artifacts beneath. This process is not about dwelling on what's been lost, but rather about recognizing the resources that remain. You have skills, experiences, and strengths that even in the midst of a crisis remain intact. Consider the resilience you've shown in the past, the times you've overcome obstacles and challenges. These past victories are not just memories, they're evidence of your capacity to survive and thrive. They are the foundational building blocks you need to use in your reconstruction. Think back to the most challenging periods of your life and the lessons that you learned. Perhaps it was a difficult project at work that taught you perseverance, or a failed relationship that taught you the importance of boundaries. These lessons are now valuable assets in this stage of your rebuild. Examine your personal relationships. Which ones are supportive and life-affirming, and which ones are toxic? Surround yourself with the people who believe in you, those who see your potential even when you don't. Let go of the rest. Your inner circle can either hold you back or propel you forward. Similarly, reevaluate your current routines and habits. Which ones are serving you and which ones are holding you back? Perhaps you've fallen into a pattern of self-destructive behavior, or maybe you've neglected your physical health. Now is the time to make changes, to consciously curate the habits that will contribute to your overall well-being and personal growth. Just like a craftsman needs the right tools for the job, you need to identify the strengths, the skills, and the support systems that will equip you for the task ahead. In order to move forward, one has to first acknowledge the pieces that remain. They will become the stepping stones for your next transformation. Once you have a thorough understanding of these core pieces, you'll be ready to construct a new foundation. Chapter 3. Building a new foundation. Now that we've salvaged the essential elements, it's time to lay the foundation for your new self. This is not about recreating your past. It's about building something stronger and more resilient based on the lessons you've learned. The foundation must be built on core principles and beliefs that are unshakable. The fundamental truths that will guide you through future storms. It's time to ask yourself, what are the values that truly define you? What do you believe in? These answers will become the cornerstones of your new self. Personal values are the guiding principles that shape your character. If honesty is one of your core values, then be honest with yourself in this process, even when it is difficult to do. If integrity is important to you, then act with integrity in every step that you take in this rebuilding journey. Just like a building requires a solid foundation, the new version of you has to be anchored in a firm base of beliefs. One of the most crucial elements of a strong foundation is self-belief. You have to believe in your ability to overcome challenges, to learn and grow from setbacks, and to achieve your goals. This is not arrogance. It's an understanding of your own potential. This self-belief will be your source of strength when you face future hardships. Cultivating this belief takes time, effort, and a conscious decision to silence your inner critic. Another key component of your foundation is the development of a clear vision for your future. Where do you see yourself in 1 year, in 5 years, in 10 years? This vision will serve as your North Star, guiding you through periods of uncertainty and providing you with a sense of purpose. It's not enough just to have goals. You must have a clear vision of your desired future and a plan to achieve it. When faced with choices, you need to consider how these choices align with your overall vision. This alignment of actions with your vision is what creates forward momentum. Remember, Building a strong foundation is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of reflection, reevaluation, and commitment to growth. Just like the greatest monuments required constant dedication, you must continue to build a better foundation for yourself. Now that you know how to build the foundation, let's look at adapting and making incremental progress in your rebuilding journey. Chapter 4. Adapting and progressing. The process of rebuilding is rarely linear. It's filled with twists and turns, ups and downs, and setbacks along the way. It's crucial to understand that progress is not about achieving perfection overnight, but about making consistent, incremental improvements, adapting to the circumstances as they change. It's like a marathon runner, not focusing on the finish line in the beginning, but rather focusing on the next step, the next mile, and maintaining a steady pace. The path of rebuilding is going to require a level of adaptability that is essential to overcome obstacles that you will inevitably face. Just like a tree that bends with the wind, we must be willing to adjust our strategies and our perspectives as we move forward. Rigidity will only result in more devastation. Be open to change, to new ideas, to new ways of thinking. The more flexible you are, the more resilient you will become. Another vital element of progress is recognizing the importance of small steps. Do not get overwhelmed by the magnitude of your goals. Instead, break them down into manageable tasks. This approach will prevent you from feeling overwhelmed and increase your confidence as you achieve those small victories. Every step, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Celebrate these small victories to acknowledge your progress and to fuel your motivation for the road ahead. Just as a bricklayer lays one brick at a time, you need to focus on the small actions that will gradually build your new foundation. Keep a journal to document your progress, your challenges, and your lessons. This journal will serve as your personal guide, a reminder of how far you've come and how much you've overcome. It will also help you identify patterns in your behavior and make adjustments. It's crucial to cultivate patience and to forgive yourself when you stumble along the way. Everyone makes mistakes, faces setbacks, and experiences moments of doubt. Don't let these bumps in the road derail you. Instead, view them as learning opportunities, a chance to adjust and adapt. Remember, progress is not a straight line. It's an upward spiral. By focusing on small steps, by adapting to change, and by embracing the process of continuous growth, you will transform into a more resilient individual. Now that you've persevered, let's celebrate your hard-won resilience. Chapter 5. Celebrating resilience and long-term growth. After facing the darkness, after putting in the hard work, after adapting and pushing forward, it's time to acknowledge and celebrate the resilience that you've demonstrated. This is not the end of the journey. It's a new beginning, a recognition of how far you've come, and a celebration of the individual that you've become. Resilience isn't about never falling down. It's about how many times you get back up. As you've discovered, you have the inner strength and determination to overcome challenges that might have once seemed impossible. You have now laid the groundwork for long-term growth. This chapter will explore strategies for continuous improvement, allowing you to keep evolving and striving for your greatest potential. Embrace lifelong learning. Seek out new challenges and opportunities that will push you outside of your comfort zone. Don't become complacent. The world around us is continuously evolving, and we must continuously adapt and grow. As you continue on this journey, cultivate a mindset of gratitude. This means being thankful for the opportunities that you have and for the positive aspects of your life. Gratitude has a profound impact on your overall happiness and well-being and will give you the motivation to strive for even more. Another critical element of long-term growth is a dedication to mindfulness. Practice being present in the moment and savoring your experiences. This will not only increase your overall joy, but it will also decrease stress and anxiety. Finally, never forget the power of contribution. Consider how you can use your experiences, your knowledge, and your skills to help others. This act of giving back will not only provide others with support and inspiration, but it will also add greater meaning to your life. You now know the blueprint for how to rebuild yourself piece by piece. By applying the principles discussed in this video, you have the power to create a more resilient future. We've explored the process of rebuilding from the ground up, from confronting the initial fear to laying a solid foundation, adapting to setbacks, and celebrating resilience. The journey has not been easy, but the reward of a stronger and more resilient you is priceless. This is not the end, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. Continue to grow, continue to push yourself, and continue to inspire others with your journey. Never forget that you have the power to overcome any challenge that you may face.